Welcome to Gospel Diaries, a program that offers a unique avenue for artists to share their stories, express their thoughts, emotions, and personal journeys. Today we celebrate the holiday season with William Smith Jr. and Renewed Voices for Christ.
Come on, make some noise. That's it. It's time to give God some praise. Put your hands together. Come on, come on. Put your hands together. Come on, choir. Until the day I die. Yeah, I give him the praise. Until the day I die. That's it. I give him the praise.
What's going on, Gospel Diaries? Listen, I am still in the magnificent city of Chicago. I am so elated, so excited about this episode. And first of all, we are in our Christmas season, so we're spreading love. But this guy to my right is going to be on your left. This is William Smith Jr.
Yep.
Oh my God, where do I begin? First of all, can I shake your hand? Blessings on top of blessings.
Oh, man,
Listen, this guy right here, he really knows me. Okay, like I don't know how old I probably was in the 9th grade,
Well,
maybe 8th grade.
Well, I started working there in '96.
96. So this had to have been like 98. It had to have been 98.
Yeah.
98. He was actually one of my school teachers. Like, I believe I was either in the 8th grade or the 9th grade. And I remember like Kenyatta Stewart and Belinda Belogi were all at the school, and they would always talk about him playing the piano and things of that sort. And I never heard him play, but he didn't know that I was a church boy.
No, I didn't know.
So I was excited, but I never did get a chance to hear him play. But oh my God, as I continue to live, I really found out about his imprint in the gospel community with his choir, Renewed Voices for Christ. So I'm so honored to be sitting here and to delve into your gospel diary.
Well, before we get into my gospel diary,
Yes.
I just want to let you know that you can do all things through Christ that strengthen you. You know, you were one of my students. You know, I don't want to say trouble students, but what it was I got a chance to give you some direction and make sure that you were safe. And then when I found out you were in the gospel community, I was like, what is this boy? We got to get himself together. And the Lord has really got yourself, you know, together.
That. Yeah.
Man, let me shake your hand.
It's honor. It's honor. So listen here, if you see me cry, I already know that I'm an emotional person. Just know this is like really sentimental for me. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You still on the battlefield?
I'm still on the battlefield.
For the Lord?
For the Lord, battlefield. I'm still working at the school.
Still teaching?
Still teaching.
So how many years is it? You said 96, right? So
it's going on.
Roughly 26?
28.
28,
yeah.
Wow, that's a long time to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Some people can't stay nowhere for 28 minutes, let alone 28 years. Wow. So let's talk about your humble beginnings. Are you from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago.
Let's talk about
South Side. South Side.
Now, were you raised in the church?
I was raised in the church.
What church was that?
True Light Church
The
Baptist.
church where we're in right now?
Church where we're in right now.
Wait a minute. Now, how far back do you go with the history?
Well, my grandfather was the pastor. Paxton. You didn't know that?
That's your grandfather?
Yeah.
So Doris Sykes was...
I'm taking the picture. Man, if you really...
If I'm not mistaken, Willie Webb was over there.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Willie
I
Webb.
never even knew.
Yeah, James
You give me
Cleveland,
chills.
Jesse Dixon.
Okay, where was that located? It was not here.
That was on 45th and Dearborn.
Yes. because Reverend Paxson, True Light, when Chester T. Beatty, when Hyde Park closed its door, a lot of people went to Reverend Paxson Church or they went to Redeeming and those churches. So Reverend Paxson was a very prolific pastor here in the city.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
wow, and that is your grandfather.
That's my grandfather, and my
Wow.
mother, she was a minister of music, Barbara Smith,
Barbara Smith.
Barbara Paxton Smith.
Okay.
And
Wow, so that was his daughter.
yes,
Interesting.
yes, and she would tell me stories of how she would have to babysit me, and I'd be in the carrier under the piano, you know. So I guess, you know, I just kept hearing that piano sound coming in my head while she was at rehearsal or at church.
Interesting. Now, were you at that location? You were at the other location before here, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you true.
Yes, I was at that. That's where I got baptized at that location. I wasn't playing yet. I didn't play until we came here. And about 1975, 76, I was banging on a little piano downstairs.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of.
Let's talk about Reverend Paxson for a minute.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the memories that you hold.
Oh, well, I hold a lot of memories with him, especially with him being part of the Baptist convention, him traveling to Tennessee, and that's where he's from, Tennessee, and just traveling all around. But one of my fondest memories as far as my musical career stands is, you know, I used to be in the choir, in the kids' choir, and every time they call up the kids' choir, when we were here at True Light, I would go down to the piano. I would go down to the piano, play for the kids' choir. My brother, Pastor LaRue Kid, he was the musician. Then after the kids' choir would sing, I would come back to the choir stand with the combined choirs and finish singing. Until one night I was at home, you know, we stayed in a 3-flat. I stayed on the 3rd floor with my parents, and my grandmother and grandfather was on the 2nd floor. I think we rented out some apartments on the 1st floor. And I was watching TV with my grandfather, and he was like, I heard you playing that piano today. Why don't you just stay down there? I was like, oh, I guess I could just stay on the piano. And, you know, he gave me my little $3 a week then to play the piano, and then that's pretty much where I started.
That is amazing. You never know. You never know. Previous pastor, Reverend Harold White, right?
Reverend Harold.
So let's talk about how did he come into the pastorship?
Well, Pastor White, when we talk about True Light, he was the choir director at True Light.
Right. Okay.
You know, before he branched off, a church called for him to pastor, and through the recommendation of my grandfather, he sent Reverend White to that church, Central Park.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, Central Park.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when my grandfather passed, it was his wish and prayer, and he let my grandmother know to call Harold. If anything happened, call Reverend White. He called Reverend White. Reverend White came in. There wasn't no voting in. You know, it was like, he's the pastor.
Wow.
Reverend White was the pastor. He took over the congregation. His church joined True Light. They didn't merge, but they came over and joined True Light. Wow. And that's where Reverend White came in. And let me tell you, Reverend White is significant in my learning hymns. You know, he caught me at a time where I was just kind of starting. I thought I could play. I couldn't play, you know. But what Reverend White did, he used the Mr. Miyagi theory on all of the musicians. He would sing hymns every Sunday. We didn't know those hymns, but he kept singing them. We kept playing them. He kept singing them. We kept playing them. And he just, you know, if we were doing too much, making too much noise on the piano, he'd tell us too much right hand. You know, too much right hand.
He was a musician, huh?
Well, he's a singer and director, but he's a musical pastor, yes.
Okay, wow.
So he kind of just trained us and bred us upright.
Give me one of your favorite hymns and tell me why.
Wow. I mean, it's so many, because it's like when you hear him, I, I don't understand. It's like second nature to me. You know, draw me nearer. Um, hold to God's unchanging hand. You know, it's and I could call many more, but yeah, hold to God's unchanging hand might be one of my favorites. But yeah.
Because time is filled with swift transitions.
Swift transition.
You know, you got to hold to God's unchanging hand. You know, those the lyrics of the hymns, they become applicable, you know, in different phases of your life. Because when I was a child, some of those lyrics, I was like, Lord, what are they talking about? But if you live a little,
If you
you
live
get
a
a
little,
chance to understand exactly what the composer was, you know, had in mind.
A funny story, because we had a pastor, assistant pastor here, Pastor Winfield Phillips.
Yes.
Free Salvation Baptist Church. And he left, started his own that congregation. And me and my brother were just out riding around one day, and we went by to see him at his church, and he was telling me that he needed a musician. And he asked my brother to play for his church. My brother couldn't play because his devotion was here, so he couldn't really branch out. But since he played here, I could branch out. So I said, I'll play for you. And he took me in. I wasn't even playing foot pedals there, but I was playing. I was playing well enough to teach the choir and carry a church service. And that's where I first branched out. I stayed there for a spell, for a season, and then I moved on to other churches. I could probably call them offhand: New Birth, Strong Hope, Mount Pisgah.
Not on King Drive.
On King Drive.
You played there?
Yes. Yeah, Mount Pisgah.
That's a historic church.
Yeah, yes, it is. And then, of course, Metropolitan, Leon Finney. Yeah.
And now you're back here.
And now I'm back here. I've been in one place for over 20 years now. I'm at home. I'm content. You know, and they treat me well here, and I make sure I give them all I can.
And please share or elate us on some of your fondest memories of Christmas time at True Light.
Oh man, Christmas time at True Light. Well, we have a yearly Christmas concert, a Christmas cantata, where we do Christmas songs. A lot of the songs were arranged by my mother that we still do.
Is your mother still alive?
No, she's passed. And she arranged a lot of songs that we do. You might have to come by when we get it. I'll keep you abreast of when we're doing it. And then every year we've been doing the church, True Light, been doing the Christmas cantata since the 60s, maybe the 50s. And me and my brother, we've tweaked some things, but some songs have stayed the same. You know, my brother has written some Christmas music that we included in the Christmas cantata, and that's my fondest memory of Christmas here. We can't wait until the Christmas cantata comes, and then we can't wait till it's over.
I hear you.
Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. And right before we go, because we're gonna hear a Christmas carol from Doctor. I call him Billy, but I'll say William Smith. But no, I'm saying Billy. It's okay. Billy. But I do want to pay homage to his brother. His brother wrote one of my favorite songs for Kim Stratton, "Rich in Jesus' Name." So if you never heard the song, go look up Kim Stratton and check out the song "Rich in Jesus' Name." You'll thank me later. Just like my favorite TV show, Monk, how you always say thank me later. You'll thank me later, okay?
Did you say Monk?
Yes, you like Monk?
My favorite show.
No way. I know every episode.
Yeah, every episode.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye. Hey, welcome back to Gospel Diaries. Listen here, we were just chopping up about Monk. That's amazing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Lobby.
If you watch this show, you'll know what we're talking about. But back on course, man. I'm so glad to be here, man. Again, I must continue to embrace this moment. I really must.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you have a fingerprint here in the city.
Okay.
With RVC, Renewed Voices for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the origins of this choir.
Well, the origins of Renewed Voices for Christ come from Hyde Park Career Academy Gospel Choir.
Okay.
Okay. And my brother LaRue Kid, Pastor LaRue Kid, he went to Hyde Park, and I think it was around his senior year. His music teacher, Sandra LeConte, she was the one of the choir teachers there at Hyde Park, and they did a concert, Love Alive concert. Hawkins, they did all the Hawkins music. Now I wasn't, I was still in 8th grade, I believe, but they were rehearsed here at True Light, getting ready for the concert, and I would just sit on the piano and play. So I ended up playing for that concert, and that was my first concert I ever played for, and that was from Hyde Park. So the next year, I went to Hyde Park. Now some of those choir members had graduated. Miss LeConte, she left, went to another school because they cut out the music major program the year I got there. So then, of course, I'm there. I'm LaRue brother, LaRue little brother, and they want to do some more singing. Like, we get LaRue little brother to play, So to make a long story short, gospel choir at Hyde Park was formed basically through that and WJPC choir contest. So we were in the WJPC choir contest, and I think we did it for 2 years. We lost to Soul Children. They were in it too.
So say that the acronyms again.
WJPC.
Okay, now what does that mean? Tell us about this. I'm glad I stopped you there because people probably gonna talk about that.
WJPC was a radio station. Yeah, I think it was AM. It might have been AM, but they might have ended up being FM. And I guess in today's term, it probably would be 92.3.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But But they had a General Mills
Wow.
competition
Okay.
where the choir or the group that got in it had to collect cereal top boxes from General Mills. And I guess whoever had the most, they got into the competition.
Yeah.
But we were in a competition. We were a nice competition choir, and things took off from there with Hyde Park. Now, you're talking about a high school choir. You know, once you're a senior, you know, you graduate. There's some more freshmen come in. But some of the seniors that graduated, if they didn't go over to school, what do you think they did? They came back to the choir.
Exactly.
And come choir rehearsal in the afternoons. So it was just like a growing, like building a cake. Every year it was, we had new freshmen coming in. Some seniors that left, they come back. So now we stacking seniors on seniors. So Hyde Park was really the start of Renewed Voices, because when some of those older choir members were saying, "Oh, I don't want to sing with these kids no more," they was like, "We need to start us a reunion choir."
Okay.
You know, I didn't really want to do a reunion choir because we had choir members in Hyde Park that didn't go to Hyde Park. We had cousins that went to CVS, South Shore, and they would come in and just sing. It was a young people congregation, you know, the place where young people could come, praise the Lord. We had some shouting rehearsals and learning music. It was a fun time. So out of that, that's where Renewed Voices was born, was birthed. You know, out of now, everybody didn't come from Hyde Park to come to Renewed Voices, but we did have enough that came.
So where did the name come from?
Well, we were here at True Light, sitting in the basement, and you know, when any group, I've been a part of a couple of groups that had to come up with names. Yeah. You know, we'll write a name down, put it in a hat, pull it and see what that is. We like that. We like that. But my sister Teresa, she put a name in that said Renewed Voices for Christ. Okay. Well, where they messed up at, Sister Toy Nika Curtis, she said, let's say William Smith Jr. and the Renewed Voice for Christ. And when they say that, I said, well, if y'all gonna put my name in front of it, I'm gonna make sure this works and make sure it lasts. I'm not gonna just be the musician. You know, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be in it until the end. And 35 years later, we have built an unstoppable locomotive in Hyde Park. So, of course, with all these kids gathered in one place, after school, we had at least up to about 50 kids coming to rehearsals on, I think it was Tuesday and Thursdays maybe. The officers of the school kind of got concerned. They were like, you know, all these kids down here, who's the grown-up down here, you know? And I think the oldest at one point was maybe Carrie Borders.
Carrie Borders was a part?
Oh yeah, big part. And my brother, Pastor Kid, they might have been the oldest. They might have been, what, 22, 23 years? So we had to get a parent sponsor. Right. So Sister Toy told her mother about the choir. Her mother came in, became the parent sponsor, and we leaned on her, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing. Now let's talk about some of the engagements that you, like, what did you all do around the city?
Well, going back to Hyde Park again. Hyde Park.
Hyde Park.
Indians. We were taking, at one point, 4 or 5 engagements a weekend. One on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, sometimes 3 on Sunday. We was moving across this city, you know, taking engagements. So of course, when RBC started, the engagements kind of started to kind of fade away, but then RBC started taking some engagements. And the funny thing is, out of maybe the 10, 15 years that RBC and Hyde Park coexisted, we might have had maybe one engagement where Hyde Park had something and RBC had something. It never clashed.
Gotcha.
It never clashed.
I
Yeah.
got you.
But when RBC started, we didn't get into this for recording.
Mm-hmm.
We got into it just to sing. Just to sing. It took us 10 years before we recorded.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we had a recording choir.
So what year was that you started?
1990.
Okay, good. Thank you for, yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
1990. Okay. But the thing was, everywhere we went,
mm-hmm.
you know, they start asking us, do we have a CD?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a CD?
Mm-hmm.
No. So we were almost forced and pushed into recording.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
We got to record.
I got you. Let's recording. Mm-hmm. I want you to reminisce on the Chicago gospel scene that you grew up and you loved and you embraced.
Yeah.
Who were the players there?
Yeah. So, the Ecclesiastics, James Chambers,
okay.
you know, and he, you know, when he would have a concert, I knew that I was going to see Kevin Bond playing for him, you know, mm-hmm. Maybe even Richard Gibbs on bass, you know, and then of course the Tommies, you know.
Did you go to their concerts?
Oh yes, okay. I went. Well, and one in particular, available recording.
You went to that?
Yeah.
Now, where was that held at? Was that
That was at Christ.
Okay, Christ T. Okay.
And I was sitting right there for the whole recording. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a sight to see. Mm-hmm. It was a sight to see, and then it was a sight to hear the production mm-hmm. of it afterwards, mm-hmm. because you know. At a live recording, you don't hear all the strings. Right. It ain't no strings. Right. Ain't no auxiliary keyboards. Mm-hmm. You got an organ, piano, mm-hmm. Guitar, bass, drums. But then once you hear it from the recording and you hear the finished product, mm-hmm. man.
Take a quick little intermission. Actually, we're gonna get a chance to hear one of the songs that have really done well here in the city of Chicago and across the country, and we'll be right back to talk about it and talk about the music and some more about RBC. We'll be right back. Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye.
That idea just today as I was driving downtown here to the House of Blues. I said, let's do the 12 days of Christmas and get some audience participation, have them come on stage and sing one of the lines and just let it be a family affair.
Well, they seem to really enjoy themselves doing that.
Hi, how are you?
I saw you out there on the stage.
Yes, we all sang the 12 Days of Christmas tonight.
All right, and I saw you out there doing your thing too.
Yeah, 12 Days of Christmas with my cousin. Can't be better than that.
All right. Okay.
welcome back to Gospel Diaries. I'm still having a blast. Are you having a
I'm
blast?
having a blast, man. Never enough.
Yeah. So look, I remember one performance with RBC. I want to say it was at Michi's father's church. What was Showers of Blessings? But at this time, what stands out was I believe his name was Daryl Pandy.
Daryl Pandy. Yeah.
Now was he affiliated with RBC?
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing him singing in the choir at this particular engagement. Let's talk a little bit about some of the members of RBC.
Yeah. Well, Daryl Pandy, I met him. I actually don't know where I met him, but I think he was at a church and I played for him, and he heard RBC, and we became like this. He loved me. He loved RBC, and he's an international house singer.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And he was a dedicated choir member.
Because I remember because I was looking at him and someone was like, "Do you know who that is? That's like Daryl Pandy." And I'm like, "He with RBC." I'm like, "Wow, this is something."
He would take me and my best friend George to the buffets, and we would just crack up and see how much he could eat, and it was just us having a good time together.
Wow.
Having a good time together.
Now, what about some more of the charter members?
Well, my main charter member is my guy Cedric Nunnally.
Yes, so Cedric was way back with High Park.
Cedric was with High Park. I suggested that Cedric direct at High Park, and I don't know if he had directed before High Park, but he became one of High Park's main directors. And when RBC started, I had to make a choice to see who was going to be my director for RBC, and it was Cedric. And Cedric been on board ever since. He's been my choir director, my vocal trainer, my whatever I needed. And Cedric Nunnally has been there.
Okay.
Everybody needs a Cedric Nunnally.
Yeah, Cedric Nunnally, listen, we take this time and pause and just tell you that we love you absolutely.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the recording process. So you are recording independently, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the detailing of independently recording, the budget and finding songs and all. Let's just talk.
Yeah. Well, so High Park recorded with the Rutledge sisters, Lamont Rutledge and Denise and Charlotte, and that was my first recording that I ever did. I had the opportunity to play on that recording with Anthony Harmon and a couple of other great musicians, and those recordings was the foundation of recordings, knowing how to record, knowing how to record, knowing not how to record, knowing how to record, not what to do. And so when RBC got ready to record, I said, who can MD this recording? Or who could help me produce this recording? I said, Gerald Gray. And let me tell you about Gerald Gray. And I want to pause also and say, Gerald, thank you for all that you have done for Renewed Voices, for Christ. You're genuine. You're genuine. I believe you're saved because you haven't shown me anything different, and I enjoy working with you, and I thank you, man. I thank you. Thank you, Shantae, for letting us have Gerald also. But I called Gerald, and whatever I asked for, whatever I needed, he was there to walk with me through the process.
And the quality of the recording was magnificent to me. There's one song that sticks out to me, and then also too, you all got a chance to record Reverend Philip's Need.
Yes. So on that first recording, of course, that's where we did the medley. Excuse me, the medley, and then we got some music from other writers, and then my brother wrote a song, God is Up to Something.
Yes.
and Pastor Philip Sneed led that song. Yeah.
That album, if I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure my memory serves me right. There was a song called "In My Father's House." Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, I used to listen. I used to work at New Sound Gospel, and when I got, because I was at Bethlehem store, the one out on Sibley first.
Yeah.
But when I went to New Sound Gospel, when I saw that album, I just smiled. And I looked and I used to play the album, and there were certain songs I would play, where people would come in so they can hear it, and they'd be like, "Who is that? Who is that?" And then I remember I got to the point that we had sold all of those CDs.
Oh yeah,
that we had.
yeah. That CD should be gold,
Yeah.
but and it was our first CD, and it wasn't the best mixed CD. It was my first time mixing and recording, but it has some anointing on it.
Yes,
absolutely. And even with the medley, David Massey taught us the medley, and we kind of worked out where let's make this recording quality. So of course with Gerald being an MD, putting it together, getting the musician that played on that project. Philip Feaster, Aaron, Destiny Child brother, William, yes. Sheree Reed,
yes.
Gerald played, I played. Chris Miskell, he played the whole project on the drums. Wayne Barrett played that guitar on the medley. So it all just came together. Much love to everybody in Chicago, and when I don't be out a lot, but when I do go out, everyone shows me love. Of course, the radio announcers, Pam Morris, always encourages me, with her smile, with her story, and I thank you, Pam, for that. The Suttons. Arthur and Janet. I've been knowing Janet, back before she was Sutton, Harris, and thank you all for being there for RBC, my friends, and I know as of right now I'm going to probably miss a few names.
Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye.
I wish these choir members would learn how to get here on time.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what? I remember a time when we had to be on time for every rehearsal. But those shows was some fun times.
Sorry we were late, Billy. Had a lot of traffic.
Every week we got the traffic.
Well, I'm glad y'all made it here safe.
Yeah, good stuff, traffic. Y'all
That's the most important thing.
Thank you, William.
And look, since we all here, let's start rehearsal. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Let's warm up. Let's warm up with some old school stuff.
What you talking about? You talking about some of that old church stuff?
Well, not the old, not Mahalia Jackson, but let's warm up with some of the 90s stuff. Some of that old school stuff that we did, the quiet songs that we grooved to back in the day.
Okay. So what you got in mind, Billy?
Let's go, band.
and then for some reason, um, um, Pastor Maceo Woods took me under his wings also. You know, if he needed me to come to his church and play for the youth choir, you know, he opened his arms, and so I, you know, thank the Christian Tabernacle Church for being there for me, you know, and of course my home church here, True Light. True Light. I couldn't do none of that without a home base. Without a home base. And one thing that I tell my choir, you can be a part of RVC, but look, I don't come before your job, your family, or your church. You know, I had to make sure everybody had a church home to be in Renewed Voices for Christ. Now y'all can give me everything after that, you know, but if your job can't pay you, you know, your family, you know, we are family, you know, your church home, I'm not your pastor, you know, so make sure that you're rooted and grounded in your church home, you know.
Yeah. Last but not least, man, I got to ask you this. What do you want to be remembered for?
Huh.
Well, but before you answer that, can I tell you one thing that is a little humorous? I will always remember you for the toothpick. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. And I got a story behind the toothpick too.
Okay.
You know, when I was younger, you know, 13, 14, 15 years old, I'm playing the piano. I want to look cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I had the sunglasses on, had the toothpick in my mouth, playing the piano. You know, now I don't have a toothpick in my mouth today because I'm cool.
Right.
You know, it's habit forming.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, and that's, it's part of my
it's part of you.
Yeah, it's part of me now.
But what do you want to be remembered for?
But I just want to be remembered for a humble servant.
And that you are.
A humble servant. I don't try to outplay nobody because I can't outplay nobody. You know, I can only do what the Lord gave me to do. You know, there's been times when people have called me to play. I'm not getting paid the musician rate. You know, what can you give me? You know, I don't know. Of course, I want them to be fair, but I want to be known to be to have been able to bless. Just be a blessing. I'm here to be a blessing.
I gotta shake your hand one more time.
Thank
you so much for this opportunity. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man.
Y'all, for real, y'all. This is just like, it's like me looking back in the past, or because I couldn't see the future, but looking back in the past, wow, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
On that note, man, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I keep saying that. I can't say that enough. And would you pick up the phone and text somebody and tell them that you love them? You got anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. And as I always say, love on someone, and trust me, that love will help to change your life. And we'll see y'all later. Tell the people bye.